Catch us if you can.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is SPEEDy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, together with
Felicity Girgir.
And SPEEDy Talk is a program for the youth where we talk about things that concern and affect the youth. And today we are talking about something very practical and very important in everyday life. We're talking about saving money. You know, how people actually save money. Money comes in, money goes out. And for many people, it feels like there is never enough time to even think about saving. For some people, start with the month with good intentions and say things like, this time I will actually save. But somehow, by the middle or end of the month, that money is gone. And some of these persons actually make those calculations from the beginning, like, this is what I am going to do, this is what I am not going to do, and then this one is for savings. But somehow 3 days into that whole month, you know, the entire money that was supposed to be used even for the month is gone. The one that was supposed to be set aside for savings is also gone. So today's conversation is very simple but very real as well. How do you save money? What works for you? What works for you personally? Because someone else might also, you know, get to learn from that. Is it easy for you, or do you also struggle with it? What works? Sometimes, you know, you struggle with something, but then you finally find one that works. So let us get those different, you know, different tips, you know, from different people. Like, how do you save money? What works for you? How are you able to stay disciplined? So we want to hear different experiences today, because many people manage money, you know, differently. Some people save little by little, some try but cannot keep it, and those are the people that are the targets today, because we have to learn. And you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464.
That is 0808 427 5464.
call in and let us hear from you. How do you save money? Like, what do you do? What are those things that you do? What are those steps that you take? Or maybe one secret that you learned. Maybe you have struggled for a long time and then you were unable to, but then somehow you are able to learn something that works for you now, and you're doing great, saving it yourself. Because sometimes you even beat yourself and say, I am not going to touch this one. In fact, this one, if I touch it, let this happen to me. Even some people even swear for themselves, like, if I touch it, let this one happen to me. I'm not going to do it. Even if someone is almost dead, I am not using it. But a few days into it, just be like, okay, maybe next month I will start. From next month, it's the other month to the other month. Okay, so let us get from you, what actually works for you. How do you save money? Call in and let us hear from you this afternoon on SPEEDy Talk. And also, let me ask you, Felicity, what do you think actually makes it difficult for people to save money? But before that, well, I'll still call the number again because I want people to, call in and share with us their personal experiences on how, they actually save money. Number for you to call is 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. How do you save money? It's very difficult. I mean, it's something that a lot of people struggle with. So we want to know what works for you. So maybe someone who is struggling can also, try that out. So Felicity, back to the question. What do you think makes it difficult for people to actually save?
First of all, I would say some people do not have discipline because they have this buying impulse, or if they see anything they'll just want to buy it, and they do not have the discipline to be like, this money, I'm not supposed to use this money to do anything. This is the money that I want to save. So whenever they see something and they like it, they just buy it. So I think that's the major reason why
let's hear this person. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Tell us your name and where
you're calling from.
I'm calling from Makurdi.
And what's your name?
Boniface.
Your name is who?
Ma?
What's your name?
Boniface.
Boniface, welcome to the show. Boniface, what do you think makes it hard for people to save money?
Okay.
All right, so you also can call in to be part of this conversation and tell us, we're talking about saving money, how difficult it is for people, and then what are those practical steps that you take, some things that you do, because people always find themselves, and most people deal with this, even more than we think, because there are persons, you might think you're the only person in that, but then there's one person who is always saying, this month I will start, that month I will start, but then the next month is okay, this month it has already finished, let me just eat it all. So you were talking about discipline, Felicity. Go on.
And I was saying that so people do not have discipline. Anything that they see and they like it, they just buy it. They just want to buy it, and they cannot hold back. They cannot tell themselves that, okay, this money I want to save this money, and I'm not going to use it to buy anything. And another thing I would say is unstable income, because when you have money, it's not enough for you, the needs that you have and the wants that you have and all of those other things. It will make you to start touching, like, let me say if you make 50,000 per month and you have rents to pay every month, you have to buy foodstuffs and all of those things. We all know that 50,000 is a little money and you want to save. So 50,000 is little money to cover rent and to cover foodstuffs and and other needs that you have or want and all of those things. So sometimes it's caused by unstable income, when you are not earning enough, or your income, let me say your salary is always dropping and all of those things.
But you know that sometimes people find themselves in places that, okay, maybe you know that this is how much you're earning, but the house you're looking at is in I don't even know which example to give, places. Like, it's in one example, it's in one far place, or let's say, go on, let me hear the example that you want to give.
No,
because
I don't want
I'm
to
really
give an example. I'm trying to understand.
Yes, like sometimes, okay, you know that this is what you're earning, right? But then the house that you chose to stay is somewhere that is not your style, it's not your mate. You have to maybe out of 12 months, maybe you're using 10 months, to actually save for to afford that rent. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are you going to, like, it makes it some people, like when they want to pay for stuff, or when they are getting stuff, like we use house, right?
Yes.
But then it comes to other things too. You know that this is what my salary can afford, but then you are buying more than that. Where will you now see the one you're going to save for another thing?
Yes.
And also, like in as much as people will say, okay, the economy is hard, that is the first thing actually that I was expecting you to say, because when you ask someone like, why are you unable to save, that is the first thing that they say, that the economy is bad, this and this. Okay, we cannot even deny that one, right? But then if you are waiting for it to be good first, like, would you allow everything to pass you by? Would you no longer save for that rent at the end of the year? Would you no longer save for maybe an exam, or even something that you're supposed to do, or even to open a business, because okay, the economy is bad? What if it doesn't slow down for you? One thing is, if it doesn't slow down for you, you have to like match up to it, or you have to like struggle to get to a place. You have to make yourself something. We cannot simply all vanish simply because the economy is bad. We have to do something, right?
Yes.
So how do you save money? What are those things that you take, those steps that you take to actually help you save money, responsibly, and just even conveniently, or sometimes it's not even convenient, but you know that you're doing it for your own good. What are those things that you do? How do you do it? Because people struggle with that a lot. People who say, I will start today and never start, or people who say, well, this is the one I'll save, but before even 3 days into that month, like they have already used that one. So what do you do that you overcome all these temptations? How do you stay disciplined? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464.
That is 0808 427 5464.
How do you save money? Call in and let us hear from you. And what's the most difficult part for you? Like, what would you say makes it so difficult for people to be able to save money? And then you, if you're someone who has maybe beaten that part, and then you've gotten to a point in your life where you're able to do it, let us hear the secret, because I'm sure there are so many persons that are actually itching to hear as well, because people struggle with it more than they will come out and then admit, right? People struggle with that more than they'll come out and then say, this is something that I am also facing. And I like how you mentioned about poor spending habits. Maybe going to doing things that they did not plan for. It's just a small thing. Now I should just get this for my. But just
all those little things, if you add all those little things, there is a huge. It takes a huge impact on your savings.
Yes, and another thing I'll say is, people don't know when is the time for. Okay, when it's time for enjoyment or time to do this one. If you know that you're saving towards something, you know that you cannot be that careless to maybe be using it as far. Well, let me just use it now. What will happen? No one knows tomorrow. Of course, no one knows tomorrow. But if you're still here tomorrow, what are you going to do? Because people say no one knows tomorrow. It's possible that I will not meet tomorrow. Like, okay, I just have to use everything now so that by tomorrow I don't have any regrets that I'm leaving anything behind. But the truth is, what if you are still here tomorrow? What are you now going to use? Like, what is going to save you when you're still here up till tomorrow? This is SPEEDy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, together with
Felicity Girgir.
And this afternoon we are talking about saving money. How do you save money? What are those things? Like, how do you help yourself out of that loop where you're saying, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start this, I'll do that? How are you able to save? Call in and let us hear from you. Let us hear those tips. Let us hear whatever secrets that you apply that actually helps you. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464.
That is 0808 427 5464.
Yes, hello.
Good evening, ma.
Yes, good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Benedict Ahu. I'm calling from Baview, Bemacha Council Ward, Great East.
All right, welcome to the show, Benedict.
Thank you. For me, if I get like 5,000 today, I will use that 5,000 to invest in business. For me, is another way to save the money.
Okay.
So that I will get a profit in it eventually.
So what kind of businesses would you suggest someone invest in with 5,000, like you mentioned, the example you gave?
okay, like selling of fuel in black market.
Okay.
Okay. So you just make sure that you put it into some kind of business. So you're like saving the money without using it. It remains in that business.
No, another way is I will save it in my bank account.
Okay. People save it there and still go and remove it, or is that not the case, Felicity?
I mean, now people will save it and then they'll still go and withdraw it.
So you're able to like control and then stop yourself from going to withdraw it as long as that one is saving.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Benedict, for calling in to be part of the show. This is SPEEDy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, together with
Felicity Gigi.
And we're talking about saving money. How do you save money? What are those things that you do to help yourself? Why is it so difficult for people to be able to save money? And then what do you do that actually helps you? Call in and share with us and let someone else also learn from you. Number for you to call is 0808 427 5464.
That is 0808 427 5464.
How do you save money? What do you do? Call in and share with us. We heard from Benedict, and first he spoke about putting it, investing it somewhere. That's like keeping it. I don't have to maybe rush and then go and buy something and just spend it or even eat it and then it's already finished. Instead, he will put it into a business, according to how much it is, because he gave an example. It's 5,000. This is what I would do. So he will put it into a business that is going to that business is holding the money and even generating something. That's profit, actually smart. You're still getting the profit from it, and that's your money is saved there. Okay, that is a good idea. And he spoke about putting it in your bank account. That is how it's supposed to be. Maybe just put it in your bank account and then not touch it. But then somehow people always have a problem. As long as it's accessible, it's not you and your pin, it's not you and your everything. You have all the pins to just run a transfer. You still find yourself going back there. So what is actually the secret? How are you able to hold yourself? How are you able to like stop yourself? How are you able to save money, without defaulting, without maybe waking up one day and say, if I perish, I perish. That statement that people say, if I perish, I perish.
Let me say the complete way of saying it is nothing did this life. If I perish, I perish.
Exactly. So how do you stop that from happening? Because whether we like it or not, the world is where it is, the economy is where it is at the moment, and then things are often unpredictable. We still have to live, we still have to survive. If you're saying, well, I'm not going to do anything because what if I even lose my life today? If you don't lose your life today, what are you going to do tomorrow? All right, so call in and share with us, how do you save money? Number for you to call is 0808 427 5464.
That is 0808 427 5464.
Let us hear from you what you do. So Felicity, let's remind ourselves, what are the effects of maybe not having savings or not putting anything aside, not actually saving, just allowing everything, this if I perish lifestyle. How do you think that affects someone in the long run?
Sometimes emergencies come up like in your life, because we cannot predict what will happen tomorrow, right? So sometimes an emergency will come and you just start regretting, like, if I was saving money, maybe I would have been able to remove it and do this thing for now. So I'll say that's one of the most important things that happen, because if you don't save money, you will not have anything to help you later on when you need money. And another effect is that if you don't...
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Bello Musa, calling from London.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Bello Musa.
So what I want to say now is, can someone save money with an empty stomach?
Okay, this is exactly what we are talking about. Go on.
This condition of this economy now. How you manage to eat chocolate of to save another one? Because the lady is you just get manage the one you see. If not, you must save. If you don't take time, hospital will stop the money on. Because if you save the money with an empty stomach, you will fall down.
Okay. But then, let me ask a question, Mr. Bello. So what of you're saying hospital will take hospital too is something that okay maybe comes like an emergency. So if you're just eating all and say okay, even if there's extra, I'll just eat it. What if that hospital come? What are you going to do?
No, what I'm saying now, unless if God help you, if not, well, if you are even managing to eat, where do you are even the one you eat maybe that very day it will not reach you from morning to evening. So how will you take to save? Because of your stomach is empty. How will you save? If you continue to say you must save, don't take that. You'll be in the hospital.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Bello Musa, for calling in to be part of the show this afternoon. So this economy thing that we are talking about, this is Speedy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, together with
Felicity Girgir,
and we are talking about saving money. So how do you save money? What makes it difficult for people to save money, and then how do you go about it to ensure that you're able to at least put something aside, something that is still for you, something that is going to save you? Because sometimes things are going to happen, just like you said, Felicity, like sometimes emergencies come, things just happen, then you start running around, and then everyone is saying, and this is the only one I have, or this is what I have to use. So do you not maybe keep something aside, maybe for school fees? Do you not keep something aside? Okay, this is what I am going to do. Like, do you wait for that time to come and then you start maybe looking somewhere for it, or even trying to maybe reach to people that might not be willing to help you at that moment? You have to keep something aside. In as much as people keep saying, well, this is the case, people are still, their children are still going to school. So how are you able to keep that one you're keeping aside? Because even if anyone said they will just go through the loop of debt and keep collecting and all of those things, then at some point they will have to pay, Abby. One day, like you will have to pay. So it starts from somewhere, it starts from putting something small aside. If you realize, okay, this is where the world is, this is where the economy is, then you might you might just remain in that loop. And I don't think there's anyone that wants to remain there. So call in and be part of the show this afternoon. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464.
That is 0808 427 5464.
Call in and let us hear from you. What makes it difficult for you to save money? And also, what do you do? What are those practical steps that you take to make sure that you're at least able to keep something aside? Because if you're thinking of, well, I've been too hungry, or me and my family, we are not eating properly, this and that, then you should be looking at, okay, in the future, this is what I want to do better. Maybe I should have a side business, like maybe I should be able to open one so that it can even be bringing in more money, maybe daily, But then if you say, I don't even want to suffer a bit, that is another thing. People not wanting to maybe even go through any suffer. If you hear some persons that are successful talk about story, they'll say, well, there was a time that I suffered like this, or there was a time I did this, but then they are enjoying, what they actually suffered for. They're enjoying it because they took that decision and they were able to do something like that. So what are those practical steps that you take to be able to, save money? And also, we are talking about the effect of not having savings, right? And talk about emergencies, maybe even hospital bills, even some things like, imagine watching something that should have gone well for you, not happen simply because
like
maybe
missed opportunities.
Exactly, you did not have transport to go there because there is nothing aside for in case of something
emergency.
Something like that also. And then even this increased borrowing and then debt,
because when emergencies come up and you do not have the money set aside, you are going to have to borrow from somebody, and it's going to affect you a lot, because when the next money come up, you are going to pay for that, and maybe you are not going to have enough to even take you.
But then to look at it this way, if you're able to like keep maybe even if it's 1,000 out of the 20,000 aside, maybe before the emergency comes, you would have gotten something that, okay, I should be able to use this. But then you went to go and borrow another person's 20,000, and you're talking about not being able to keep that 1,000 aside. Where do you think you're going to get the complete 20,000 to pay that person back at once? So these are some of the things that people miss, and well, they just keep going in that loop of, okay, I'm in the same place, I just have to eat, I just have to do this, and then they find themselves in the same situation. If we are in a world where, or in an economy where things are maybe hard, then we have to survive, right? We have to do something. We cannot remain in the same place. And Mr. Bello Musa is actually right about maybe even hunger and then economy, being real issues, and how they actually affect people. How they manage money every day, because when income is not enough, savings becomes very difficult. But even in that situation, the idea is not necessarily like big savings. Like I said, inside that 20,000, the 1,000 you're keeping aside is enough. Like, you did something. You can wait for when you start earning 200,000, and then you step up, maybe you're saving the 20,000. It can be small, consistent planning, even putting aside something little when possible, can still help over time. So, question to you, Felicity, now, do you struggle with saving money?
Sometimes.
So the times that you don't struggle, how do you do it?
First of all, if I get money, I would say I'll put 50% of it. 50% of it is going to the things that I actually need. Yes. And then let me say like 30% is going to, let me say, they want, because along the line, as we live, little things are going to come up that you will need. So 50% goes to the things that I need, and then 30% is going to the wants, and then like 20% is like for the savings. Okay. So when you have money set aside for those wants that might come up in time, you do not necessarily have to touch the savings when an emergency comes up. Yes.
And for some people that must touch, some people find it difficult to not touch. Then look for those strict saving plans, and if you go to the bank and ask questions, they'll tell you. Like, there is, and the good thing is that there's option for everybody, like for whatever you're trying to do, and then that, okay, I'm someone that must touch it. Then there are always ways, and the idea is not to just save big or save the entire thing that is coming to you, but to be able to put something aside in cases of emergency, or to be able to even move yourself from that place that you are. Imagine having another business to yourself instead of that only one. The money keeps coming. So you have, sometimes maybe you have to suffer a little so that you can achieve something bigger. But then, it's all worth it in the end, right? So yes, the issues or the solutions, like I said, is like having a simple structure or a plan, and then starting small but then staying consistent. And it comes down to discipline. That is very important. Very discipline, important, because if you don't have it, then whatever it is that you've put to yourself, it is not going to work. And that is it for Speedy Talk today. I hope you've enjoyed your time here with us. We have been talking about saving money, why it's difficult, what happens when you don't save, and how we can actually improve. And I've been your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, together with
Felicity Gigi.
And also, coming up next at 3:55 p.m. if today is your birthday, the Speedy Kids are going to be wishing you a happy birthday. And up next at 4 p.m, the Speed Lane comes on. Right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And as you go about the rest of your day, don't forget to remember that small, consistent steps in saving today can make a big difference in the future. Keep enjoying music of your life right here on 98.5 Speed FM.
All right, here we go. Rick D's taking you to number one this week. Can Bruno Mars hold on to the top? Can he push away Taylor Swift? And by the way, D's sleazed on Taylor